Okay, this is Trey Thomas with the Philadelphia Eagles, and you're watching Voice of the Box with Matt Crevin.
Okay, thanks for joining me here on Voice of the Box. I've got the distinct pleasure of Jerry Walker, but before I really start my interview with Jerry, I want to tell everyone out there what the NFL is all about. This is what it's all about. And I'm going to get really close because that is what we're all in the game for, not meaning we, but people that are in the NFL. That is Super Bowl ring. Now, Jerry Walker is the owner of 4 of these rings. Tell me, which ring am I proudly wearing on my finger right now?
That's the 4th of 5 Super Bowl rings that the 49ers have won over the years. And I wear it because it makes me feel a little bit younger, because it's the most recent that I was associated with.
And before we get really started, this ring is on my finger. I'm having a tough time getting it off, and Jerry says I may have to go home with him because the ring goes with him. It's kind of a raw deal, isn't it? Jerry is a longtime PR director of the 49ers. Do a quick fact check. I believe it was 81 through 93 as the head man of the PR department through literally the dynasty of the 49ers. But today, Jerry, I really want to get your thoughts about your current role with the NFL and tell me if I've gotten the title accurate or not, but NFL replay communicator.
Very good, right on.
Tell me, first of all, those at home, that's the NFL replay booth, as we know it as the home in layman's terms. Tell me, what is a typical day in the NFL like in your role?
Okay, Instant Replay has a 4-man crew at every game in the NFL today, tonight, Monday night. And I'm one of the 4 men as a communicator. The guy in charge of the booth is a replay assistant. He doesn't really assist anybody in the booth, he's in charge, but I guess the terminology comes from he assists the officials on the field. So you got the replay assistant. His assistant is a video operator. I would hope most people are familiar with TiVo television, that sort of recording. We also have a technician, so we've got a communicator, a technician, a video operator, and the replay assistant. On every play, when the ball is snapped, the technician will say, make play. He will touch the computer, and the computer actually started recording 5 seconds before he touches it. So we record every play. Back to your original question, my day starts an hour and a half before the game with a meeting with the officials. We meet with the television networks and both teams' PR directors, go over what players are inactive, what players might be mic'd, what we need to know about the stadium, if there's any problems with the stadiums, if they need the lights on. The television people will then go over the timeout numbers with the officials. The officials give them instructions on, officials give them instructions on how they will approach if they think there might be an instant replay involved in a play. They will slow things down a little bit. If it's a close play at the goal line, they will maybe talk to the other officials, take their time setting the ball, giving each of the coaches a chance to challenge the official's call, or giving us a chance up in the booth. I jumped around, but
that's okay. But that's a typical Sunday. There's someone like you at work in every stadium across the NFL. Is there anything else that maybe you would want to elaborate on, or did you miss?
Yeah. My complaint: the communicators, the replay people get in the booth 3 hours before kickoff, and we're in the booth probably about an hour afterwards, filing reports and filling out forms and that. That's the unglorious part.
Absolutely. Tell me, just as the players get ready during the week to practice, what, if anything, do you guys do as a team collectively, as a whole, as the NFL replay communicators? What do you do to get ready for games? Tell me about that piece of it.
Okay, there's 2 different angles on that. As a communicator, I'm not as involved as the officials portion of it. The officials get weekly reports, weekly videos that they study on the big plays. This is why this ruling went this way, that sort of thing. And I think they might even have quizzes, like pay attention, we're going to have a quiz. As a communicator, we're involved in a weekly press conference, a weekly conference call, slip back to my PR days, weekly conference call, and we go over those questionable plays that happened throughout the league in the previous weekend, and we talk about any rule changes or any updates or any clarifications on what you at home may have seen, and what the heck is that? We're supposed to be update on that sort of thing.
I'm not sure if this is my last question, but definitely a question, it might be. How are we doing on time? That I want to ask you today. There's viewers at home that know instant replay. That's what they're going to know at home. Do you see the same camera shot as the viewers at home? Are you seeing something different? Tell me and the viewers a little bit about how that works.
That was a good question. That was a very good question. We can only judge our calls off of what is seen at home. The league doesn't ever want us to, and this is sound logic, I think. The league doesn't ever want us to make a decision on a play that the people at home didn't see. You can have, create a lot of questions like, what the heck? Sometimes I think people at home wonder if really they saw what we saw, but yeah, we get everything that you see at home is what we saw. So the more replays you see at home, the better off we are in the booth because we're getting more angles to look at something. A good play will be, look at this right here on the line feed. That's the original one, the original play. Look at this in the line feed. His foot is right there on the out of bounds stripe. Perfect. But a typical play, we go through the line feed, maybe A, B, C, D. I was involved in a play 3 years ago, I guess it was now. We looked at 9 different plays, slowed them down and reviewed them all. It was the same play, nine different angles of that play, and before we could make our decision.
Jerry Walker, I wanted to thank you for taking the time, Voice of the Box. We're going to talk more about, he wants the ring back. We're going to talk more about this ring on another day because Jerry, of course, as I mentioned earlier, 13 years as a PR director of the 49ers. There's a few stories that probably go along with little pieces of jewelry like this. But again, thank you for taking the time.
Thanks for having me. Good questions.